Welcome to the last edition of Brad's Beer Reviews for the wife picks. Sum it up real quick. My wife picked out 6 beers. We reviewed them. This is the last one of the batch. We have found an A beer that I really loved. We found a couple of B beers. I believe there was a C in there. She picked out some good beers, guys. We're going to definitely do this again, and I look forward to it. The last beer of the batch, we're going to do Shock Top Raspberry Wheat. This is brewed by Anheuser-Busch or InBev or whatever you want to call them. It is their take on craft beer. Now, some of you craft beer drinkers out there might disqualify them because it's mass produced and it's made by the same people that make Budweiser. But I think that somebody that's made beer as long as this company has knows how to make beer. It comes down to what you like and what you don't like, and just because you may not like their beer does not mean they necessarily make a bad beer. Now, you can visit for this particular beer shocktopbeer.com, but you're not going to find a whole lot of information. You would actually be better off going to Anheuser-Busch.com to find your information. What I can tell you about this beer that is unfiltered, unfortunately, guys, according to the Shock Top Beer website, and I hate to break it to you, this beer does not count as part of your daily fruit intake. I'm so sorry, and if you need to pause the video for a minute to just gather yourself, because I know that may hit you in the feels, go ahead. Joking, guys. This beer was introduced in 2011. It has wheat malt, coriander, citrus peel, and a hint of raspberry. I did not realize that this is, how can I put this? This is the same thing that you would expect from Shock Top Wheat, which was InBev's answer to Miller Coors Blue Moon Belgian white beer. It's the same thing that you would expect from that beer, but with a hint of raspberry, according to their website. It's 5.2% alcohol by volume. It gets a 68 on Beer Advocate. There's no score by the bros. I didn't see anything on the bitterness units. It's brewed in St. Louis, Missouri, which I've actually been to the Anheuser-Busch, the InBev brewery, and I love it. I would love to go back. Rate Beer gives it a 9 overall and a 12 in the style, so apparently people don't like this beer. I don't know. But according to WilliamsDistributing.com, the food pairings are ice cream, arugula salad with a sweet and sour dressing. I would not recommend eating ice cream, the salad, and drinking the beer at the same time. That sounds like a bad combination, but that's their food pairings. We're going to go ahead and open this up. Let's give it a pour. Now, their website says that this is best served in a tall glass with a wide mouth. There's a wide mouth on this glass. I don't know why the tallness of the glass would matter, but I think we're fine. There's still a little bit left in there, but we'll finish it off. We don't ever leave a beer behind, right? No Beer Left Behind. That reminds me. Check out No Can Left Behind by Co Swindell. That's a good song. Man, you can really smell the raspberry without even putting your nose up to it. The head that was there dissipated very quickly. It's very carbonated. It's pretty golden up towards the top of the beer, but as it gets down here to the bottom, it really lightens out. It's a very cloudy beer, especially down there at the bottom. I don't know how well that comes across on the camera. Let's give it a smell. Now, they say there's a hint of raspberry. The raspberry is very strong on the aroma. The raspberry stands out more than anything else, honestly. There's faint hops. Of course, sweetness, which you would expect because it is a fruit beer. Maybe faint maltiness. Let's give it a taste. Okay, that raspberry really just hits you in the sides of your mouth there. It's very sweet. There's a bitter finish to it. Finishes a little wet, slightly dry. Let me rephrase that. The finish is mostly wet. It's got a slight dryness, but mostly wet finish. It really tastes like fruit juice. Um, as far as where you're getting those sweet notes from, it reminds me of fruit juice. And before some of you critics out there say, well, no shit, dumbass, it's a fruit beer, there's fruit juice in it. What I mean is, like if I was to go open up a container of Juicy Juice, that's what it reminds me of. The same kind of sweet profile. The more I drink it, the more bitter the finish is. So, this is an okay beer. I mean, I could easily sit and drink several of them. The thought that just came to me is I did used to quite enjoy Smirnoff. Not the actual vodka, but the Smirnoff. They call them flavored beers, but I don't care how you label it. It's a wine cooler, or what I consider a wine cooler. You know, some of you guys get too technical out there. Maybe it's not. I don't know where the name, where they differentiate. But quote unquote girly drinks. I used to really like Smirnoff, green apple, triple black, the original Smirnoff. Raspberry was a favorite. Grapes pretty good. But those are super, 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 super sweet. Very sweet. Sugary sweet. And so I don't really drink them much anymore unless I just happen to be sitting around and I've had one too many beers. I may pick up a Smirnoff and drink it. With that being said, my point is if you like that kind of drink, you want something fruity, you want something sweet, but you think that the Smirnoff is too sweet, you would probably like this beer. It has a nice sweet profile without being sugary sweet, and it's not overpowering. Now, for the more complex and more experienced beer drinker, this is beer. And so I'm actually going to give this a C minus as far as a beer goes. It's not great. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy it again. I would drink if it was sitting around, and I would pick this over a Smirnoff or something along those lines. But it's not a great beer. So, C minus. But if you've never had it, it's definitely worth checking out. Some of you guys out there that have wives that like to drink, let them give this a shot. I guarantee you my wife wouldn't like it because all she can taste is the beer. I've tried, guys. She has to be drunk to start drinking my beer and actually think she wants it, and I have to watch her. Sometimes, honestly, if I get wrapped up in conversation and she's had a little too many, I'll look up and my beer's gone because she's drinking it. But other than that, I've tried it all, guys. She doesn't like it. But if you have somebody in your life that kind of likes beer, but they're not really that into it and they like fruit stuff, they probably like this beer. Pick it up. Check it out. If you've had it, let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this series that I've called the Wife Picks. We're going to have more of those coming up. And thank you guys so much for watching. These videos are so fun for me to do. I love YouTube in general. It's one of my favorite forms of media. I just think it's cool how people from all walks of life can put up what they want and people flock to it. Because of that, I'm actually going to start up a second YouTube channel, but don't worry, I'm not going to neglect the beer reviews because I love doing them. But I'm going to start up a second channel that's going to be dedicated to video games, movies, music, that kind of thing. Once I get that off the ground, I will let you guys know about it, because if you want to hear about that kind of stuff, I want you to check it out. But thank you for joining Brad's Beer Reviews. Hope you have a great weekend. I have some blackberry wine and some pizza in my near future. And thank you for joining me.